So today we are going to discuss the Log4j vulnerabilities that recently raised, right? As Log4j is used for logging, it is very common functionality around all application. And currently millions of the application are using this feature. And currently all are in under unsecured mode. And any attacker can attack on them with the help of the different things like information leak using JNDI, remote code execution, local code execution, and different way they can easily hack that application and then leak the information. So in this basic agenda around this thing is here we are going to discuss what is this vulnerability, and second we are going to this how can we reproduce and how can we uh, can do the attack over any running application, and thing last thing is then how we are going to fix this. So first and second part I'm going to show you parallelly. So I'm just moving to that's how we can reproduce this case. Okay, for that I have created a simple SpringBoot project with a simple REST controller, and I will show you that what the classes is still there, what is the build.gradle. So I created this build.gradle. So in that what happened, I'm using this Spring Boot starter web. That what happened, this is somewhere the combination of a lot of jars. So what I excluded from there, the default Spring Boot started logging methodology. And I'm using this version org Spring Boot that is log4j 2.6.1. So what happened, the 2.6.1 is containing the 2.14.1 log4j version. And that version is a vulnerable version. So uh, and this this is about the griddle, and now moving towards this main controller part, because that is a main area where we logging the information. So here you can see that I created one simple REST controller that's a the slash print, right? And I'm passing a parameter as a request param is a name, and that's just logging that information in info mode, right? So here what happening is there inside this. So this is trying to write information like name Shutang simply, but when someone can pass that different things from here, and then the log4j is just behaving differently. If I am passing some JNDI and then LDAP URL, and I am passing some dollar percentage something, so what happened that is trying to evaluate that sentence, evaluate that statements. So I will just show you that's uh, apart from that, just a simple application, that's nothing else, just this except this simple controller, right? Nothing else is here. So so here I'm creating this simply. If you are typing anything here, then what happen, it will return what you are just going to type like hello, and it will return hello and hello simply, right? But there is one more thing about the logging methodology. So if we are using this variable, this dollar and then braces, right? So what happened that we are saying something like that, okay, do something or evaluate this expression. So if I encode it and try to pass inside this parameter, then what happened, it will, you can see inside the log it will writing this Java version. So what happens, somewhere that have a capability to evaluate the expression, right? So main vulnerabilities that were raised in in the 2.14.1 and all the older version, that's somewhere then we are passing something and then the evolution is running and then it will showing like this, it evaluating the things. So somehow what happened, let's, you can see here I have another statement. If you look this, I'm just decoding this part. So this is a JNDI LDAP URL. So it's trying to access this particular resource. If anything is running in this name and then port number that, then it can create a connection of that and we can access. So I'm encoding this part and just putting inside the same URL. So now you can look, if I'm hitting this, then you can see here it's trying to evaluate this part. It's trying to looking this JNDI resource. And because right now I am in my machine that this is not running, but if someone has some resources, remote resources and anything else, then he can easily access this data. And then you can say this is coming like unknown host, right? So what happened, this is a basic or that's the main thing that are facing in right now in log4j. So anybody can pass as a input parameter, and then if someone is writing inside the log, then easily can hack that system and just like a information leak using this JNDI. He can also upload some file and execute some code, and also access the local execution, whatever that's running inside that. So there's a lot of things, right? So now let's discuss to how we can overcome that part. But there is some caveat around that, but I will tell you what is that. So here, if they provided inside that, if you go here, this log4j vulnerability page, then you can see this. They 2.15.0, they added a one parameter, that lookup parameter. So that parameter, I'm just going to add here. If you look here, already there, but it is false. They are saying that if you will add it true, then apply and close. Just stopping this, starting again this, that parameter. So what happened, this lookup methodology is disabled. So now what happened, that whatever is coming inside that, it will not execute, it will print as it is. So here, if I'm going to hit again the same statement, same request, then what happened, you see inside this, this is just printing this and not executing this and not trying to make the dollar whatever the evolution of that statement, right? But the side effect of that, if someone is using like this, if I'm writing here dollar this Java version, so now it will not going to write this thing as well. If I'm hitting this, so it is writing as it is. So it is stopped at all the evaluation for that, right? So with this help of this parameter, we can just stop that whatever writing and the evolution of that dollar things. That's they call that lookup right now. But what happened? This is still this 2.15. Apart from that, a couple of things is also there in the system that can break. Still, this parameter is enabled because this is related to only this log.info statement around that. But if someone using the log4j configuration like this, right, and the pattern layout, so there's some different pattern, like okay, this MDC is like a map. So what happened, we have a thread, if every request like a thread, so if we have some information around thread, then we can also print inside the log, okay, what is the thread name, what is that thread ID, we can easily put that. So what happened, if someone insert the same LDP, LDAP and JNDI things into that, and still some that attacker can attack on that application. So to overcome this, what they did, they come up with a new version 2.17 on O, and where they disable all the things. So one thing is that we need to add this parameter if we are using that older version. So, and second thing, what we can do for betterment, right now, if you go this log4j 2.6.1, this currently we have the two versions. I'm using this 2.6.1. If you can see here, so this is using currently this version, right? And if we will change back to this one, And what happened that this 2.17.0, and they already mentioned this is latest vulnerabilities around that, and then they fix around all the things in this 2.17.0, right? So main thing is that we need to come up with this, need to change this to, then what you will look, if you go inside this currently, if you can see in the left panel, you can see 2.14.0, and we will change that, then it will become like 2.17. So when it will become 2.17.0 log4j version, then easily fix that issue, right? And apart from that, you can also use some compile and then implementation dependency. By that, you can also add that log directly log version. You can skip this also. You can just what version you want, then you can add that those version directly. Right. There's a couple of more way to that fix that. They mention that you can skip the JNDI class if you are using that version. They suggested a lot of things around this. If you look at each mitigation, then you can look what they're saying. They are saying simply to remove this JNDI class from the core Java file, right, inside that. But if you are going to use this 2.17.0, then you are safe. So that's it for that side. Okay, please, if you want to have a query, then you can add into the comment. Thank you.